first thing there, I mean, I just loved Wheaton, but I met my wife.
Yes. So you became a student at Wheaton.
Became a student.
In 75. And you met
Started
Lisa.
a food co-op. Bob Weber bought my first tub of peanut butter.
All right.
Bob Weber did.
Yep.
No kidding.
Yeah, and what?
And that's where you met Lisa.
Yeah, well, she was my, actually, Dave Howard, you know Dave Howard University? Who did the, what's the big thing they do every couple of years that's 25? Urbana, right. Dave Howard, and you know Elizabeth Elliott?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, real quick thing, that was it. My first date at Wheaton, I go out with Dave Howard's daughter, Beth. Totally. Hot princess. And I'm like, because I mean, I'm kind of like an interesting guy that
Just landed here.
just landed there. So she's like, we gotta.
You're full of mystery.
Full of mystery, man. And I'm like got a coat like this with a briefcase, you know, and I'm like 25 years old. So I'm like, do you teach here? Yeah, sure, baby. What do you do? I mean, like, what are you interested in learning? You know, so we went out to this. Went out to this, you know, dinner, of course, anyway, and so I'm asking her, like, you know, like, she's surprised, you know, I don't know her, and so she's talking about, I mean, she's one of the Wheaton princesses, really.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, Dave Howard's my father, and Elizabeth Elliott is my aunt, you know, kind of thing, Aunt Betty, and forget her uncle, Dave, is it Howard, that wrote like he did the Catholic on the roads of, you know, anyway. Tom Howard, who taught it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, anyway, so these are all her family.
Yeah.
And I'm going like, no, I don't know your Aunt
You don't
Betty.
know any of them, right?
I don't know your Aunt Betty or your Uncle Tom. I mean, Uncle Tom, that's a story, right? I don't know what that is. You know, like so I said, but like, I know Billy Graham. Oh, really? That's cool. And she said, well, you know, did you have your family go to? And I said, no, I just heard of Wheaton, like, you know, a few weeks ago. You know, I mean, a few months ago or something. You haven't heard of Wheaton? And I said, like, there's like 2,000 students or something in the middle of, like, you know, Illinois and some little suburb, and like you're supposed to like grow up and like first thing they tell you in Palo Alto is you got to go to Wheaton or something, like, you know. I mean, have you heard of like San Mateo, California, or something, like, you know, like, what do you mean? I was just like, here it is. Well, no, but this is like really, and so anyway, so I was I had this speech class, and I was reading Thomas Merton. Oh, one of his, it was either New Seeds, I think it was New Seeds or something. I used to love Merton. And this other girl in class was reading some early church fathers and doing a presentation on the importance of reading the fathers. And I mean, I'm like, this is not the Bible college.
Right.
I mean, the girls would study
You're off the
Christian ed, you know.
You're off the
guys
reservation.
Yeah, right. And so it's like, oh my God, the Desert Father. And it's like, you know, patristics and sort of thing. And so this girl was talking to me after of course, I went overtime. Huh?
No, keep going.
Oh, so, you know, it was a speech class, you know, and no surprise, like, you know, the guy with the time, like 20 seconds left, 30 seconds left, 10 seconds, you know,
you just keep
20
on
seconds over, the guy ran out of cards, like, oh, I'll be done in a minute. You know, so I got marked down 2 grades, you know, kind of thing, like, well, heck, I got a chance to say what I want to say. So, anyway, so I get this.
Not much has changed.
Not much has changed.
Yeah.
So anyway, so this.
20 seconds.
I was doing this Greek. I had to, you know, you had to take, you know, Greek and stuff, and
Right.
so I was in this, signed up for this Greek tutor, and my wife, this girl came, who taught Greek, who actually was Gilbert Bilzikian, you know, Gilbert Bilzikian there did Willow Creek.
Mm-hmm.
Gilbert taught New Testament and Lisa was a TA. She was like 19. So she was my Greek tutor. And when on spring break, when I said I was going to go down to Cincinnati to meet Samuel Sandel, because of his Jewishness of Jesus and Jesus and Paul, and I was going to talk to him about Jesus.
And she says, hey,
she said,
I'm from Cincinnati.
I'm from Cincinnati. Why don't you take me along? Sure. So she was a presidential scholar, and all this stuff. I didn't know what any of that was. And so she's like, so anyway, when we came back and we're talking about stuff, she was like, I always wanted to go to California. I went there when I was 12. We went to San Francisco. And I told my parents, I'm coming back here. And so I got this, you know, kind of hippie radio or something, you know, and kind of thing. I said, I'm going back to California someday to flower. And I said, like, that was, so anyway, I came down and had dinner, and her father was really interesting, you know. We had this dinner, and here I'm a vegetarian, and like, you know, the mother, like, is great chef, but she brings out like this, you know,
You're in Cincinnati.
pot roast and big
Yeah.
bone and something, you know.
There'll be a pig somewhere in there.
Yeah, like that, a pig in there. And so, you know, I just eat that, and so her dad was like wondering, like, what's this kind of marginal-looking guy coming from college? And I said, what do you do, Mr. Wharton, you know? And he's like a one-word answer guy. Chemistry. Well, what kind of chemistry? Food. Food chemistry, you know, and I'm like, you know, organic.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I do. And so Lisa's, my wife's now mother, says, oh, Dad's the head of the analytical lab for Procter & Gamble. He invented Pringles. I go, this is a beast. I mean, like, I'm sitting at the table. I mean, it's like the beast. I mean, the guy's like, oh, what do I do? And so,
6, 7, 6.
I mean, you know, it's really like, and I'm there like, you know, like that. And he says, yeah, I know that people talk about, you know, they write like, you know, 666 or whatever on her. And he has to handle this. And so he started this conversation, and he said, like, you know, we have organic, in fact, we have the last organic, the strawberries in there that he ever picked, frozen in the thing.
Oh, wow.
And this talk was on strawberries. He said, so we're having strawberries tonight. We're picking them out there, and it's, you know, we cultivated the soil, and they're great, and they're this and that, and so I think that's the, you say that's the best strawberry? Yeah, I think that's the best strawberry. And he goes, well, what do you do with people that can't grow strawberries? You know, you like freeze them, and yeah, you preserve them by freezing them, right? And you can sugar them and make a jam out of them.
Sure,
Yeah, okay, it all goes downhill, you know. And I said, but when you put it in a damn Pop-Tart, you know, I mean, it's no longer a strawberry. I mean, it's just something that's like strawberry scent or scratch and sniff food or something. But it's, you know, it's like, so and so I said, but, and he goes, but, so basically you would deny millions of people the pleasure of any strawberry experience. And so anyway, basically, Lisa said, you lost that one. You know, like, Dad.
And this is your first conversation
Yeah.
with your future father.
Yeah, future father. All right. And so then we go back, and we have to decide, like, I'm gonna go to the Holy Land on, you know, Wheaton's tour. Actually, I was going to the Mideast on the Religions of the World tour, you know, that's 6 weeks. And not enough people signed up, so they canceled. And so there was a space available on the you know, the Holy Land tour.
And Lisa was going.
And no, there were 2 of them. So
Oh, okay.
Lisa was going like 2 weeks. Her thing started 2 weeks, and so we would, you know, she was 2 weeks ahead. And so I got on, and so when she would go to these different, you know, places in Greece and Italy and Holy Land, she'd leave, this is before text messaging, she'd leave a note, right? And so we, oh, this is recorded. You'd say, my wife would kill me. My wife would kill me. We had a special moment on the Mount of Olives. when
Was it a holy moment?
When the choir was singing a very special tune.
Okay.
Outside in the Olive Garden.
All right.
That I will always remember as, I can't think of, he came to the garden alone. I went to the garden with my beloved.
Yeah.
So anyway, Anyway, so that story is left untold, but we,
Yes. And so at some point
it's
you
pretty
all,
much just been told.
at some point you all got married.
yeah, but anyway, here's the deal. So I tell my wife, my lady, that she should, here she's like 19, I guess, and so I was saying, she's never been out of the country. And I said, well, look, and this is before you could like do tickets, airlines tickets, trade stuff. I said, I got a deal here. We can cash in this ticket. We can get, instead of going back home, we need to go to, get like from Athens and get to Rome. We're going to get to Rome, and then we'll take a train. We'll go to Trieste, and we'll go to Florence, and then we'll go up, and I think maybe we can get to Zurich or something before we run out of money. Get close up there, and you can hang out. But I want you to see we want to taste this food together and want this and that. And so, she said, what am I going to do? Like 2 weeks, I go, well, there's this like convent we visited that's near the study Institute of Holy Land Studies, whatever. We kind of figure something out and stay there, and so anyway, we leave, and she basically gets back to Chicago. She'd still remember it was $1.83 or $2.35 she had left over. We were in the black, but we had this whole experience of Florence and together. So when we came back, it was real clear we were going to get married. And but the last thing, we wanted to do this wilderness learning. They call it. It was like an outward bound program that Wheaton started. And her family, had gone to, like, you went to a lodge and the deer came into the buffet. You had kind of thing, had some cheesecake, kind of thing. Like I said, this is a little different. It's a little different. We had some experience and stuff. So she'd never been camping. So here we go on this 2 or 3 week, whatever it is, outward bound kind of thing. It's like whitewater canoeing, rappelling, sort of thing. And so we were the first couple, I think, to do it. But anyway, we got back from that, and then it was like, we're going to get married and go in this. So then that summer, we had our old van, and we spent the summer visiting Christian communities, 75 or 76, around the country the whole summer.
Wow.
And so went to all these different, all the different varieties at the time, communities, and Philly and the Sojourners. We did some work with the Sojourners and the Other Side magazine, and the Household of Bishop Fry, and all these Catholic worker and all this kind of stuff. So then we moved to California.
When you say Christian communities, you took a tour of Christian communities. What were they like back then?
Well, there were the old ones like the Bruderhof, the Society of Brothers. That was interesting too. You go in there. We spent a week there, and I was working in the their press. I forget the name of their. They had a press at the time, and then Lisa was working in the laundry, the hat, and then so they were, existing, like 3 century old communities, and then there were the Catholic charismatic communities that were, new, and like Detroit, and there was Reba Place, the Reba Place, and there were the the Jesus People, Resurrection, Glenn Kaiser, kind of thing. We actually go in there when we were going to Wheaton. We had Glenn Kaiser came out and did chapel. Wheaton chapels were typically very sophisticated, classical. And all of a sudden one day, band opens up and there's Glenn Kaiser Resurrection Band. Like things. We're gonna kind of tone it down, but it's gonna be a little different for you guys. Like burn, like that. So we're like, yeah, man, hell yeah, man. Listen to this is great. The Sojourner community back again when Dale, when did we go out there? 20 years ago we went out there.
95.
95, yeah.
So where's the Sojourner community? Where was it then?
In Washington D.C.
It was in
It
DC.
moved, yeah, it moved
Okay.
from,
Pacelli Square.
but then,
In Church of the Savior.
yeah, Church of the Savior, but, I mean, we went to, there were, what were they like? I mean, most of them were either, well, like, Richard Rohr's, I mean, Cincinnati.
Was New Jerusalem happening then?
Yeah, yeah.
And you came
Yeah.
and visited?
Yeah. I'm trying to think of what the other, but I mean, I know Fry, Bishop Fry, that now, is the Episcopal, the school he did. He was in Denver, so the community, I forgot what that was called. But, the Fisher folk? Fisher folk? Remember the Fisher folk, Anyway, but I mean, there were a lot of, we basically spent the whole summer visiting that. Lisa would remember. And partly actually, that's true. Like when we came back to visit Lisa's parents, one of the things they said, like they were in dinner, like, communities. These are like, communist kind of things, and so they used to always come and visit wherever we were. They would stay there.
Oh, really?
I mean,
Her parents?
No, I mean, like if we were in an apartment or whatever,
Okay.
they would always like, sleep on the couch but it was really solidarity, And so one evening we had this conversation, and they said that just basically we were part of this, community. They said, honey, we just couldn't come and stay in a place, like we're like right next door. There were people that we just didn't know. And we'd have to go to a hotel. And so we'd laugh, like, so you'd go to a hotel? I mean, and get a room next to people you don't know. I mean,
Right.
like, at least we know these people, it's
Right,
a
right.
kind of thing, but it was like, oh, God, that was stupid. Like, how do we couldn't do that.
Right.
So,
So you spent a summer visiting 75 different Christian
oh, no, not 75. I mean, we were just, it
The
was
summer
just
of 75.
75,
Okay,
yeah.
got it. All
Yeah,
right. Okay.
yeah, and then we went to, I know, we went to San Francisco because New College, I was thinking of going to Mennonite Biblical Seminary because of John Howard Yoder and all those
Okay.
Jesus. And so New College was starting out there, and Branson from Fuller,
Mark Labranton?
Mark was part of something up there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but there were other, I think he was then. But anyway, so, and then Fuller was doing their first extension thing.
Okay.
So we went to the Fuller extension, and Menlo Park Press had something going on. Oh, and then there was a coffee house. Jay Anders had started the espresso bar in Bean, and so I got a job with, we had a place, a Jesus coffee house across from the high school in Redwood City called The Way In.
Okay. So you
So-
started a coffee house.
So yeah, it
This
was.
is
Is this the
San-
first?
This is San Francisco?
Yeah,
Menlo Park?
Yeah, in the San Francisco area. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what, 76?
Well, actually, there was a coffee house that Jay Andrews started, Espresso Bar and Bean, in '75 or something. That was, and they wanted to do a chain
Okay.
of coffee houses for conversation and all that. And Jay was really way ahead of the time. So they got some investment together and did a bar in Vegas. That was where they actually had a small batch roaster and they had a cupping table. This is way ahead of its time.
Yeah, this is way.
Yeah.
What
And
year was this?
75. You've probably met Jay Anders.
Mm-hmm.
Espresso bar, I mean, he's like a crazy man.
Yeah, definitely
He's-
wild.
He's a wild man. He's like a Kansas kind of guy that, like, you get him in his overalls. But he's over there, like, meeting Dr. Ely, and we imported. So I became the research geek for the Espresso Society, Espresso Bar and Bean Espresso Society, where we bought all these machines. Bought them over, and it was kind of like, fired them up, tested them, spec'd them out, like consumer review kind of thing. And so Jay called me 3x5, because I had all my 3x5 cards before you have, but like you'd write all these specs down. And so then, I went to Italy, went to some factories and stuff, and started this. But the deal was, and then Kent Bakke was bringing, before Marzocco, he was bringing in CMA machines, but they were branded, Cafe Tim.
Yeah, they were co-branded.
Co-branded, right.
So you graduated from Wheaton.
Yeah.
You and Lacey got married.
Mhm.
You'd moved to San Francisco area.
Yeah.
You were starting your first coffee house, or working at a coffee house.